Hello everyone, my name is Professor Anna Luri and I'm going to be your instructor for the statistics section. This is full term, but you could be also taking an express with me or a 12-week class. It's the same directions. Now on the front page, you have the convenient links here to the syllabus, to modules, to our Teams group chat, and so on, to the course calendar. Now you also can see the office hours. Now these are just basically a drop-in. So you do not need to make an appointment. You can just show up and click on the link to join. Now, let's go ahead and discuss the modules first. Let's click on modules. Now, the orientation module must be done in order for you to access the exam. This semester, what I'm trying to do, instead of making it a prerequisite to the whole module 1, I separated it into module 1A, which has just the material, the video lessons and the homework, and then there is the exam portion of it, and that one I am requiring the orientation module. So you should actually be able to start on the material before you even do the orientation module, but I hope that everybody understands that you won't be able to take the exam or even start working on the practice exam, which is a prerequisite to the exam, before you do the orientation. So please do that first. Now, in terms of what you do, when you look at each item, it tells you that after the name of the item. So for example, the first item, it says view, which means you just click on the page and that's it. For the course syllabus quiz, you must score at least 10. For the discussion, you must contribute to it. The test lockdown browser quiz, that's the most important part. That is going to be something that you will need for the exam. And that you have to score 100 on. And finally, for the course calendar, you just need to view it. I don't know what I pressed on, sorry. Okay, let's go ahead and click on the course syllabus at a glance and let's go over the syllabus together. Number one is my communication preferences. I prefer to use the Teams app for all communication. Now, all you have to do is download it on your phone. You can also download it on your computer, but that's not required. However, on the phone, it is required. It is a free app. This is the way that it looks like. Okay, and when you download it on your phone, the navigation is going to be, for me, it's on the left. Okay, so for me, I can see the chat, the Teams, and calendar, all of that's on the left. For you, if it's a phone, it's probably going to be on the bottom, but it'll be the same kind of thing. If you click on Teams, you should be able to see our team. So whichever class you're taking with me, it should show up, okay? Like your class section. And for example, I have section 46. In the general channel, I want you to post questions on the homework or general course questions. Now, I will also later add another channel that is just going to have the student support link and exam link, so that it's convenient to flip back and forth. But everything that any questions that you have should be posted in the general channel if it's a general question about the course or the homework question. Please do not direct message me with questions that other students may benefit from seeing. If it's something that's private, I understand you can direct message me, but everything else should be in our general channel. This is for class communication. If you do need to send me a direct message, you would go to chat, okay? And then when you click on that, you will go and find the new message icon, and when you click there, you can find my name. So just type Luri Anna and I should come up, and then you can go ahead and start your chat. Now, I strongly recommend that you use some features of Teams app that are available, unlike the Canvas inbox. That's why I don't like to use and usually don't use Canvas inbox. I just answer everybody in Teams because I think it's a lot more, I mean, it's really a much better tool than Canvas inbox. First of all, it allows the formatting. It allows you to use reactions, which I really hope you're going to use. If you ask me a question and I respond, please do not respond back with thank you or great or something like that, because that's going to flag it as a new message. Just use reactions, use a thank you or like or thumbs up, whatever, but please do not say thank you. That just drives me nuts. If you need to attach a file, you can click on the plus sign, okay? Now you can also schedule a message, all right? So that I think if you hover over it, you should be able to schedule it. I'm not so sure how to, right now it just says send, but I think there is an option to send it at a different time. Anyway, I want you to use Teams app instead of Canvas inbox. Please, please, please. All right. The next thing that you're going to need is a Windows or a Mac laptop. Now, you can actually do homework on any device. You can do it on a Chromebook, on an iPad, you can use a phone even. But on a test, because we are going to be using Respondus lockdown browser for this course, the combination of this browser with MyOpenMath, which by the way is free, and every assignment, including homework and lesson videos, everything, exams, is all in MyOpenMath. Now, there is immediate sync between MyOpenMath and Canvas. You do not need to make an account on myopenmath.com. Please do not do that. The moment you click on the first assignment in Canvas, it'll create an account for you, and everything that you do in MyOpenMath will be sent to Canvas. Your grades, now, that may not be immediate. So if you need to wait a couple of hours for it to arrive to Canvas, that's fine. Do not start panicking. The most important part is what you see in MyOpenMath. If you see 100 there, then that's going to be 100 in Canvas also. It just might take a little bit of time. And so during the test, it's important to get a Windows or a Mac laptop. If you do not have one, if you only have maybe a Chromebook or an iPad, but you don't have a Windows or a Mac laptop, then it's going to be more complicated. You are going to have to visit one of the campuses of PBSC, depending on where you live. If you live close to Boca Raton, then on our campus, we have a student learning center in the Boca Tech building on the second floor. They have the computers that have the lockdown browser already installed. So you can use the computers to take the take lockdown browser test assignment, and of course you can also use it to take your exams. The downside is that the Student Learning Center is not open on weekends. So if you're planning on taking a test on weekends and then you work during the day, that's going to be a very problematic for you to take this course. And I'm just warning you, if you do not get the appropriate technology, you cannot take this course. All right, now let's take a look at the grade breakdown. So you will have MyOpenMath homework, which is going to take 15% of your grade. We will have 4 graded discussions for each module, and that'll be 5% of your grade. We'll have video lessons. By the way, each video lesson precedes the homework and is a requirement for the homework. So doing a video lesson to at least 70% correct is required to do the corresponding homework. We will have 4 exams, and it's a total of 50% of your grade, and the final exam is 20% of your grade. That's comprehensive. Now, when you take your tests, I do tests differently from other instructors. I proctor my students live through Teams on your phone or another device. Make sure that your phone or a tablet or whichever device you're planning on using, which should be a different device from your computer, because your computer is going to be in Respondus lockdown browser. That will block all the other programs and you will not be able to go on Teams, for example. That's why we need one more device. On that device, you are going to go to Teams during your scheduled test sessions. You will need to schedule it in advance. I usually post a scheduler about a week before the exam actually starts. There are multiple sessions. You are going to decide whichever one is convenient for you, whichever one works with your schedule. And that's the one that you're going to sign up for. And then at the time of your exam, you're going to be in Respondus lockdown browser on your computer and on Teams with me. Okay, and the Teams link is going to be in our Teams channel, which you, like I showed you already. So you will be able to just click on it and I will post the link there, and then you get to the test. Now, why am I proctoring my students live? What is the purpose? Why I am not recording them? I do not like to record my students because if there is any problem during the recording, there is no way for me to interfere, to interrupt the test, to help you. Let's say there is a technical difficulty, maybe your internet went down. Then, if you are on Teams with me at the same time in real time, then you can go to my support room and get help and explain what's going on, and we could possibly fix it and you can resume taking your test. But if it's recorded, and something goes wrong, what am I going to do? Just give a student a 0? So I'm having a problem with that. I don't like that. Also, if the setup is not good, or if I see something suspicious, I can also immediately interrupt, focus on the student, tell the student that something is wrong. Maybe I don't see the student's hands or the face, or I can see the student talking to somebody, or the lips are moving. I am immediately going to interrupt. So I proctor everybody live. But if there is a problem, you just switch to my student support room. It'll be open during the test, and then you can talk to me. In the exam room, you will not be able to talk to me because everybody's going to be muted, and you actually cannot unmute. I did that because I just don't want people to interrupt everybody else. Okay, now the best thing for you to do in order to position your phone correctly, which I actually will have a separate video on that, but I wanted to show you the stand, and you also have the picture, which you can get on Amazon for about 10 bucks. If you click on that, that will just show you this kind of stand. Maybe you already have one. I really like this one. And it's inexpensive and it works. The phone has to be positioned so that you can be seen as in the picture right here. So it should be a side view. Your desk has to be completely clear. It should be visible. Your hands should be on your desk. There should be nothing else there. And maybe a piece of scratch paper, but nothing else. You are not allowed to use a personal calculator. We will actually use a Desmos graphing calculator that is actually free, and it'll be available from inside every assignment, whether it's a video lesson or homework or in an exam. You cannot use personal calculators in this course. What you can use for exams is also a 3x5 index card. Now, these are very inexpensive. 100 of the index cards can be bought at Walmart for $1. You will be able to use your index card for each exam, 1 through 4, so there'll be 4 of them. And on the final, which is comprehensive, you can use every one of your cards, okay? The front and back is okay, but the card has to be 3x5 inches, okay? No larger than that. The practice exam is a prerequisite to each exam. You cannot start the exam if you did not do the practice exam. So you can't even show up because you will not be able to click on anything. So what's the point of showing up? Everything should be done to 70%. If I'm asking you what percent, it's always 70%. Video lessons contain my videos and also some questions with the videos inside. They will be a prerequisite to the corresponding homework. On the homework, unless a question is a multiple choice, if it's just a multiple choice, you might have less than 3 tries. If it's just a true-false question, there will be only 1 try. But each question will have 5 versions usually, so if you get it wrong, you can reload the whole question and it'll reload, and it'll keep the largest score that you get out of your 5 versions. Now, the discussions are going to be at the end of each module. You must post 1 day before the discussion is due. You cannot use AI in your post. If I detect the AI, which is actually pretty easy to detect, you will not get any credit. So please use original thinking. And the prompts, I don't think are difficult. I'm also giving you some choices. Usually there are a couple of choices for the prompts where you can choose which one you want to answer. And the reason why I want everybody to post the day before is because you also need to reply to a peer, and you can reply and it has to be a meaningful reply. Also, you cannot use AI to reply for you. Do not use a bot, use your brain, okay, when you reply. All right. Now, in terms of past due, what is my policy on past due assignments? Every assignment, if it's a homework or video lesson, you will be able to use your late passes. A late pass is like a coupon that will extend an assignment by 72 hours. You can use up to 2 late passes per assignment. Basically, that gives you a 6-day window that you can still extend an assignment. And if it's been more than 6 days, then you would have to contact me and explain what's going on. Maybe there was some kind of prolonged sickness that prevented you from taking your assignment. You can explain that to me in order for me to open it. In terms of the exams, the first scheduled test session. So let's just say that we are scheduling tests from Tuesday through Thursday, and the first scheduled session was on Tuesday at 12 o'clock. You have a week from that Tuesday at 12 o'clock to make up your exam. That has to be, though, a documented excuse. An excuse such as, I couldn't find a time in the scheduler, so I just didn't show up, is not an excuse. The scheduler will be due before the session start. Okay, so usually the scheduler is due the midnight before the first session. If you can't find a session that works with your schedule, it is your responsibility to contact me in time. Do not leave it till midnight when it's due. You have to contact me in advance. You can contact me through the Teams app, but the best thing to do is go to my or join my virtual office hours, and we can compare our schedules, and I'm sure we can find a time that works for both of us. But an excuse such as, oh, well, I looked at the schedule and it didn't work, so I just decided not to come into the test. Well, then you cannot take it. However, there's good news for you. If it's just been one test like that, then your final exam score will replace the missed exam. However, if it's a second exam that you did not do and didn't schedule in time, that'll be a 0. Okay? And if you do miss a test, please contact me anyway and warn me and let me know that this is what happened, that I should substitute the final exam score for the missed exam. All right, this is it in terms of the orientation. The next thing to very quickly to take the course syllabus quiz. If I go to the home page, I should already see, actually, hold on. If I go to modules, I should already see a green check mark because I did the course syllabus at a glance. Next, I'm going to take the course syllabus quiz, and that'll be it for this video. If you click on take the quiz, that should bring you to the following questions. So first of all, this would be false. You do need a Windows or a Mac computer. The preferred method of communication with me is the Teams app. Please do not contact me through Canvas inbox. I hate it. If you have a homework question, please do not email me or direct message me through Teams. You must post it to the Teams group chat. You can also visit my office hours if you have a homework questions. No appointment needed. I'm always there. If for some reason I'm not there, please type in the chat. Tell me you're waiting for me. I will see it. It'll flag it, and then I'm going to join. For some reason, I'm at a meeting or whatever. The late pass will extend an assignment by 72 hours, and there will be 2 late passes per assignment. It is okay to use your calculator. No, it is not. You will be using the Desmos graphing calculator from inside an assignment. You cannot use your own calculator. Now, question 7 is an acknowledgement that you know the rules. Number 1, you know that in this class you're going to be proctored live. You're not going to be recorded separately as in most online classes. I proctor my students live. I want to see them. I want to feel the human connection. I want to be able to interfere if there is something wrong and fix it, okay? I don't like to give people zeros. You will need to make an exam appointment prior to each exam by the due date. This is your responsibility. If there is a time conflict, you must contact me before the scheduler is due to schedule a different time. Now, before each exam, you're going to have to do 3 things. Number 1, you will need to make an exam appointment by the due date in Canvas. So the schedule is always available a week before the actual exam. That's when you can pick whichever session works with your schedule. You also should make sure that the Respondus lockdown browser works on your computer. If it's not your computer, then you should visit the campus. By the way, if you are closer to Lake Worth or you're closer to Palm Beach Gardens, they also have computers with lockdown browser in the library. But again, the library should be open in order for you to take the test. So coordinate with them if you are planning to take it over there. And then also you have to do the practice exam. Otherwise, you will not be able to access the actual exam. You are allowed to use one index card, 3x5 index card on each test. For the final, there will be 4 of them. Finally, to take an exam, you must do the practice exam to at least 70% correct. And now let's submit and hopefully we get a, oh, I did not answer something. Aha, I didn't make an acknowledgement. So yes, I understand all of that and I agree with it. Let's submit. Hopefully get 10 out of 10. Yay.